Morning. So today is March 18th, and I'm actually doing this recap for yesterday's trading, and also want to sort of make a few comments about my a better approach to how I can actually trade these days. Um, so yesterday started off really badly, and it wasn't badly because of price action or anything, but more so because I got a very bad sense of euphoria, and I think it's more to do with the state of my current state of mind. But anyway, what had happened was um, I took a trade uh, with which was basically a gamble, and I remember when I hit the button, I said to myself, "Why am I doing this trade?" And you see, the moment you start asking questions like, "Why are you doing something?" you know you're not supposed to do it, and you should just get out. And I just kept watching this as the trade was bleeding money on my account. Now, you may ask, why would you do that exactly? Maybe it was more to do with, like I said, my current state more than anything. Um, but that now set me off in a very bad precedent for the, or set off a very bad precedent for the day. And as such, I did not trade the day as well as I should have. Simple things like sticking to um, the always in direction was something that kind of plagued me a bit, and yeah, I really, really had a bad time doing it. But anyway, um, I'm just gonna go over. Like I said, I took a trade with a position size that was just not good. Essentially, I bought at resistance with a full position, and of course it retraced. I remember when I looked at it, I thought I know where I'm supposed to put my stop, but I can't afford where my stop is, where I'm supposed to put the stop. Actually, if I just go over it, um, so so basically, I bought this high, and I don't know why I bought the high more than anything. I think I saw when I was looking at it, I saw we had pulled back. And I said, "This is a nice breakout. We should get a second leg up." And then I bought this high, and I kept saying to myself, first of all, this is not a setup. Um, and I think what I should have done, what I ought to have done, was just get out. But I didn't. I was in denial. This candle finished printing. This candle finished printing. This candle almost finished printing, and I got upset. I did it again, but this time without, when it was a bit of revenge. And at that point, I had to stop. And at this point, my whole day was already wrecked, and I was just not in a good mood. Um, what I had to do was just wait for this, take the trade here. Obviously, not with that size, but I could have anyway, and have made a really nice profit. But it's not really about that. It's really about just following what you're supposed to do. Right, this was a bit confusing, as you can see, because this low actually has not taken out this low. And as such, it really does not constitute a wedge. I mean, it's kind of acting like one, but it's not. It doesn't follow the rules that I sort of put in place for a wedge. Now, if I zoom in, just so we can kind of see it on. Yeah, as you can see, it hasn't, and that's why this green line's gone past there. On the NQ, however, it did, um, and therefore, on the NQ, it would constitute as a wedge, or at least you would see it as one. So there you go. That's the same. This is the same price action. So actually, was it a wedge I was looking for? Now I'm confused. All right. So yeah. So this is what happened. So on the NQ you have one, two, and three, or you can even say this is three. Um, and therefore, oh no, it was one, two, three. See, it's actually a bit more confusing on the NQ because yeah, when you look at it now, you have another low here, you have another low here. And I remember when I looked at this, I thought, well, this high has taken out this high, so this was the bull leg. So this is the bear leg, this is the bull leg. This is the bear leg. One, two, three, bull leg, and then bear leg again. Weirdly, I think we had more than maybe this and this were probably the same legs, even though it had taken out. But as far as the wedge is concerned and the move is concerned, 1, 2, and 3. Now, what's also interesting about this is there are actually two legs in here. It may not look like it, but I remember looking at it. It was so confusing to when I was trying to count the legs here, because if you look at it properly, you have one pullback here and then a nice spike, and then it reverses. So where are the two other legs? And well, when you think about it, this bar opened here and then it pulled back, right? And it went back up. Then it opened here again, pulled back, and it went back up. And this is a third leg. So it's very hard to see, but to count. But this is actually 3 legs, 2 legs here, 1 leg here, 2 leg here, and this is the third leg. I didn't actually want to go into that, but that part. But actually, that's what's happened. And then you now have this pullback. Now, this is where things got slightly confusing when I was trading it. And therefore, I found it very weird and confusing to trade this day because of I didn't understand what had happened here. I hadn't considered the fact that we had a swing low here, and this was a higher low. And that's all because I was using a different chart. Right, let's switch this back to MES. And I learned something from this whole experience yesterday. All right, so again, you can see we have a wedge bottom here. Possibly this is this. I don't know, what am I looking at here? 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. Okay, so this is the third leg here, and maybe if I just correct that, this is the third leg here. So really, you're going 1 pullback, 2. So this should start from here. All right, so yeah, 1 pullback, 2, and here we have an inside bar. So this really I counted as a third, as a second, which is actually weird because on NQ it's different. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so the issue was this is the chart I was looking at. And one could argue and say, well, why then do you trade this chart? Well, there are actually a few other things here that kind of made me think, okay, do you know what? I've completely, I completely messed it all up. Anyway, so we went up, but we went up strongly. First of all, we had two very nice bull bars, especially the second one, closed on its high. So this is a credible long. Although recently I've been finding it difficult getting long here because, as you can see, this bar is kind of reversed, and therefore I wasn't even sure about entering on this bar. Then this bar opened, and as you can see, it never went down. So there's a very strong. Maybe people hit the market here. Nobody actually took profits on this bar, and I think possibly because we had a pullback over here. And then this went all the way up, and I took this trade up, made about 10 points, and that was actually should have been my day. But because of the fact that I had lost a lot of money, I decided to revenge trade, and this is where things got a bit out of hand. I wasn't trading setups, I was just gambling. I'm just buying the bars. But anyway, we had this inside bar and then this breakout, and I did not look at it that way at the time. I thought we were coming down because we're testing the previous day's high, and this was a double top and we're reversing. But I ignore the fact that we had already done the consolidation here, and therefore this was the breakout and meant we're going higher. We already had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bull bars at this point. Most likely going to have a second leg if we're going to have a retracement. Maybe this was the second leg up, but actually this, it turns out, was the second leg up. So because we're now testing this, I was kind of inferring different things. I felt we had a spike the previous day. It wasn't a spike, but I looked at it as a spike, and this was the pullback, and this was a channel 1 pullback. Maybe we're going to get other high. See, the thing, we did get the spike in channel, but I just never looked at it that way. I kind of looked at it as spike, pullback, and then maybe we're coming down for some weird reason. Maybe this was a double top. So I started trading it like a double top. So I shorted here, shorted there. But then as I noticed, we started to, I thought this was a bear breakout of the moving average, but I ignored these tails, which these were not consecutive. These tails are telling you that you're in a trading range. If anything, this is a pullback, not a a big drop. Anyway, so what happened was we came down, tested this moving average, we broke it, but we never closed below it. And that was another tattletale sign. Usually, whenever we break a moving average, we close strongly like that, and it shows you the intention. Look for another one. We didn't close. We have a tail, so we're going back up. Here, as you can see, we're closing strongly. So that was something I just did not consider, and that is because I was trading the PNL and not the chart. And that usually is a sign that maybe you should stop trading. Anyway, as you can see, we now went up. I bought this bar. I maybe bought this. Then I thought, okay, do you know what? Maybe we're gonna have a double top. This would be the double top. We're coming down. I ignored the fact that we had already the first wedge failed, which is 1, 2, 3. This failed, went high for a measured move up to here. This was doing okay, nearly hit my target, which was just about here. Was actually it missed it by a whisker by 1.75 points. Oh no, 1.25 points. I was going for 10 points again, and this is only 8 point if you take the close of this bar. But yeah, and now by the way, this is a bull bar. I did not see that because it looks like a bear bar, but if you zoom in, it's actually a bull bar. So it was never ever a trigger for me to go short. This was my trigger, but the risk is so high. Anyway, I use it as my signal bar, but I never ever looked at it closely because of how the resolution of the screen. Alright, so let me zoom out. Okay, so that was a bull bar, a bull doji, and then we went down, bounced off the moving average. This was the clue. We broke out here. Anyway, at this point, I decided to stop trading. I started paper trading because I felt like I was just not doing things right. This is the first rejection, second rejection, third rejection. Already 3 rejections off the moving average. We're probably going higher, especially once we broke this high. That means this wedge top had failed, which is why I put it in a dotted orange, and we're going for a measured move about here, which is exactly what this place is. So I could have gone long. In my paper trade account, I did go long, but I put my stop in the wrong place. I went long here, and I put my stop. I should have put my stop here, but I put my stop just below this candle. Got stopped out. Went long again, and used the appropriate stop. I think it was here or here. I can't remember. Anyway, went up. Actually, that's why I did this. Went long and got out here for 1-to-1. Then we went sideways for a bit. Here I assumed, oh, maybe the wedge top is in play. Maybe we might come down. No, this is the other thing. We're in a bull trend. We're making higher highs and higher lows. Fair enough. Yes, we may have 1, 2, and 3, but there isn't. We're still in this thing. We need a bull breakout for the trend to change. And that's usually what I do. I prefer to wait for a convincing bull breakout for higher probability. Something like this. Oops, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Something like this, where you have a really nice bull breakout, and this. So it's a continuation. In fact, I actually took this trade. I actually shorted here. I actually took a short here, and then took a second position here, and took this down. Where did I take it down to? I think around here. Yeah, down here. And then took another one here. No, took another one here. This came up. My stop was up here, so I took a second position here. But what I failed to do was wait for this bear bar to close and then take it below it. And because of that, I wasn't convinced in it, so I got out for break even here, and then whew, surprise, this carried on. And I'm gonna talk about what I learned in this whole thing here. But anyway, so going back to our day, so then I was just talking to my friends about this, the fact that okay, what's actually happening? We're going sideways, it's expanding triangle, so it's indecision. And chances are, I think they're waiting for, and when I say they, the participants are waiting for price to get to the moving average, which it did, and then they bought off it. I now did not consider something that happened here. If you notice, we're touching the moving average now. And so when price retraced all the way here, I didn't consider the fact that since we touched moving average here, we're more than likely going to break it the next time. But of course, we're going to buy off it. But I wasn't expecting this much selling. I expected it will still go much higher. Anyway, so we had a massive bull surprise. When you have a big, massive bull surprise, you should expect a second leg. Maybe this is the second leg. Maybe this is the second leg. So we had a massive bull surprise. Did we test this high? Because usually the breakout, no, we didn't. We created a gap. So that's another reason why we went high. Anyway, we had a massive bull surprise here, which was a really, really nice bull surprise. As you can see, we have 46 to 53. So that's what that's, no, that is, I can't even do my maths. That is 7 consecutive bull bars, and eight consecutive bull bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't know if this is a bull bar or doji. So anyway, 8 consecutive bull bars, and then we now had this retracement, which formed a nice wedge bottom. Good trigger to go long, and I actually took that long. Didn't like this first pullback, but I, decided, I'm just gonna trade the setup as I normally do. Put my stop here. My initial target was above here, but the fact that we had hit here, and I thought, okay, maybe this is the third high, we may just make a double top and not take this high out. So I pushed my target down. We came up, came down. Did not like the fact we had a bear bar after this. The follow through was really poor. Went up, and this was actually managed pretty well, and I like that. Only just because. Oh wow, it's interesting. We got to the measured move target. I just noticed that. Yeah, only because what's it called? Yeah, this only because I wasn't expecting a reversal. I was expecting that we're going to make 3 legs up, which we normally do. So 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. So I kept my stop that way, and the way I managed it was I had my initial stop here. Then this pullback, and once this had broken this high, I moved my stop from here to here, just reducing my risk. And I think also I got in early as well, if I can remember correctly. Let's see if I still have the markers. Let's just see. Yes, I got in a bit early, and as you can see, these areas I over traded. So I got in early and got out one position here because I had to leave the terminal. So I got out half my position on this bar, and then the second one just here because I was going to leave it there. I thought, you know what, I haven't really got time to start finding a position for my stop. So I moved my stop from here to here. Then I moved it. Then I got out half here. Had I stayed, I would have moved my final, I would have gotten out half here and put my stop here. So now from here to here, which would be close to my entry, and then waited to see how far this would have gone. Maybe with one position out, and then the other one maybe just leave it at a measure close to the measure move target, possibly get out over there. Right, so 3 legs up. Obviously that now led to this retracement. But what's interesting is we now created a final flag. I'm going to take these off. So we created a final flag, which usually is a sign that the trend is coming to an end. And then we have this 1 pullback 2, which is usually the second leg of that. And then everything ended from that point. Now, talk about what I learned and how what I should have done to make this day a lot easier to trade. Okay, so first of all, the first thing one has to understand is what is price doing? Where is it going? How is it moving? What is happening in the market? And you have a big, massive bull surprise here. And remember, whenever you have a bull surprise, you have follow through. This was the follow through. And it all started, and then here we have, bull leg, bear leg, bull leg, bear. When we're making higher highs and higher lows, right? We're above this moving average. Most of the bars are above the 60-minute moving average. Yeah, fair enough, we've broken it, so chances are the next time we're going to reverse, which is probably what I thought. But most of the bars are still above this moving average, so chances are we're going to break this high, even because of the fact that we're way above it. Yes, we tested it here, we pulled back, right, which was the pullback that was confusing for me, and then we went higher. But what I failed to understand was my stop really ought to have been placed at the lows, which is exactly where we opened. I just opened that chart again. Was exactly where we opened over here. So this is a credible stop. Now, if I believe I am in a bull trend, which is exactly what was happening, this low would not have taken this low out. So it was okay for me to go long here, put my stop here, play this out, and waiting for a pullback. We're always in long, especially because you have a series of consecutive bull bars. The next bull bar here will be caught. Yes, fair enough, there's a lot of selling, but it's just trading range price action. You want to stay long. But then if I didn't take this, at least I could have seen what was happening here and said, okay, I'll take this or play the pullback, keep my stop here or keep my stop over here, and just kept staying in long because we were always in long. If I go back to the other chart, as you can see, the way it's played out is we have a wedge bottom, so we're going to go a few more legs up. I think what had happened was I took it from here, said 1, 2, and I thought, okay, we may have another high, which is exactly what we did, and that high failed, so we went even higher. But actually what had happened was we had 1, 2, 3, and that was that reversal. It failed, so we're going for a measured move for the size of that, and that's actually what had happened, because I obviously did not count this, because that was 1, 2, and 3. Now it all makes sense. Maybe this wasn't so much. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this had failed, so therefore, because we didn't reverse the trend, this was our new target, which is exactly where that was. So therefore, that was what I should have been aiming for. And the only reason why I messed it up really was just because I was not focused. I wasn't focused on this chart. I wasn't focused on what was going on in the global picture. And this is now giving me more confidence to trade this chart as opposed to this chart. Mind you, I will trade this chart because the setup makes sense with this moving average at the open, but it's so much better seeing everything that has happened in the past, seeing this in front of me, and then seeing this, and then seeing this breakout is what I'm expecting, because you need to see what's in the left to make sense of what's going to happen on the right. So now we've seen that measured move, and look at what's happening here. This is interesting. So yesterday, seeing this, of course, we had a final flag. I thought, okay, we're gonna have a bear breakout. So this was I was confident to take this short. I saw we had a two-legged pullback over here. I'm just gonna zoom in. Oopsie. Yeah, we had a two-legged pull over there. So I was convinced that we were going down at least. We have a spike, pullback, channel, 1, 2, 3, and probably on a bigger, higher time frame. If we move this to the 15-minute, and I think it's easier to see things on the 15-minute. You now have 1. This is your pullback here. So 1 pullback, or maybe there's a pullback here. 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. So you have a bigger wedge. So I'm just going to mark this as a nested wedge. That's a nested wedge within this wedge. So now you have 3, 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. So you have this going up. It looks like a bull breakout, however, it does not take out this high. So we're now in a bear trend. So you could then now say 1 pullback, 2 forming, and this is why we're having this breakout. So 1 pullback, 2, you could count this, 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. So this is here, and then 1 pullback, which is probably why the bulls are buying this low now, because it looked like a breakout, but actually we should be going higher. But then again, could be forming a triangle. Point is, if we are going to go short, we have an area to place our stop, which is probably all the way up here, or possibly here. The market should not go past this high. If we have, if we want to go long, our stop needs to be here, because this is the premise to which we're trading this. I used to think my stop needed to be here or something, but no, the market cannot come past here if you're going long. If you're going long and you believe you are in a bull trend, then you need to put your stop here, because this is a higher high. Is it a higher high? No, this is a, no, we've not taken this out. So for the bull trend, this is still your stop, because this is the last swing low. Yeah. So this, right now we're not, neither we're still in a bull trend or we're in a trading range. But if you're shorting it and you believe you're in a bear trend, this is where you started, or here or here. You know, you can't make, well, hang on, if you think about it, we still haven't broken that swing low. But depending on the time frame, you may be saying, okay, I'm trading this trend, and that's how you've got to trade it. You got to figure out based on your wedges where, and then the moving average as well, because right now we're hovering around it. So this looks like a trading range to me, at least. But so I did some back testing, going back and looking at the different wedges and different things that happen, and it just dawned on me that, oh my goodness, it was so straightforward trading. I don't know why this is not showing up as it should. It's on a different chart. I'll just switch screens. It's been so straightforward trading these setups, and the problem has been that I have just not been focused. So as you can see, I have all these wedges drawn out, and some measured moves and things like that, and I realized that some of this was all very straightforward. You know, you can see in the morning session you have a wedge top sort of going into the day session. The day opened here, you had two legs up, another wedged pullback, so you have a nice bear fly, bear breakout. This is on the 15-minute, obviously, a nice bear breakout, and then the market opened. You know, you had one pullback, so we knew we were going to make another one. But even looking at that, we have two legs up here, so therefore this is a wedge, a bear flag. This would make a nice sell off over here. We could have just sold this, and then we now have a nice retracement, sold off. So we now have 1 2 3, which was exactly what happened, and we have nested wedge here, 1 2 3. Really nice rally, because guess what, we're obviously going to target here. So we went up, broke this high, and that formed this in a wedge 1, pullback 2, because this is a pullback nested within this bull trend. And that's what's so cool about it. It's actually looking at the bigger picture. In intraday, normally I never look at this. I never ever I never ever consider what is the market actually doing. You know, fair enough, we open out here and we're doing this, but where is it going? And why is it that this low should not be broken? And that's only because we've already done this. Now we're pulling back. This is the first leg up. We took out this high. This is a pullback. It shouldn't go past this, right? Because we've already done one leg pullback. Oh, sorry, one leg pullback, 2 pullback. I can't take this out. 3. And that is exactly why we have all this buying here. And we've made the third leg up, and we sold off because it's now a wedge top. 1 pullback, 2, should have a third leg. We didn't. Did I miss my counts? I probably did. I have missed it somewhere. Or maybe it's only 2 legs down, but usually 2 legs in a trading range. And then we have a breakout. I don't know what happened there. So maybe this could go past there. But anyway, based on the way we were trading, it didn't look like we would, because we had two-sided trading, and this was the first. Oh yeah, I see what's happening here. So basically, this is the So the way this is worked is you already have your 2 legs because you're in a trading range. So 1 pullback, 2. So 1 pullback. This is still the same, 2. And then we've come down, 1 pullback, 2, 1. So it's 1 pullback, 2. At least it made sense to me the way I understood it. And I just essentially went through the entire day. I remember seeing this and I said, this is exhaustion. I remember this day. I said, this is exhaustion, biggest bull bar. We could sell off, and we sold off. But when I started trading intraday, it was confusing because I thought, oh, what if we reverse, come back and retest? But no, we've already done that. We had our consolidation here already, which is what is going on right now in the market as I speak. We're forming the triangle, trying to decide, do we go higher? And we did, and then we just sold off. But the point is, the stop is all the way up here. Here's another one. Oh, excuse me. Here's another one. Nice there. And then when we opened up in the morning, we came up. We had two-legged pull, one pull back two. In fact, one pull back two, pull back three. Wedge top over here. Opening, the market opened over here. So even if we didn't take this, this was definitely a really good trade for the day because we have, you know, a wedge top over here. In fact, I'll just mark it up. This is the high. Oopsie. Just mark that there. This is the high to the next high. And then here you have one pullback, two pullback, three, and so this is another wedge bottom. Really nice retracement over here. I think the market, went sideways at this point. Have wedge top there. I remember seeing this at night. So you have this nice retracement here, and then you have three legs. So this is a spike pullback in channel, and then we went up, and the bull trend started, and you can see all the different patterns that have happened throughout till where we are right now. And where are we? One pullback, two pullback, three. So remember, we marked this like this, but I'll be interested to see how this plays out. And then we also have a nested pattern over here: spike, pullback, channel. So one pullback, two pullback, three. But actually, the way I see it is there, even though this is four legs, and I don't usually count this, just like I'm suspicious of this. The only reason why is because this is the breakout, this is the pullback, and then we need a second leg up. Now I don't know whether this is the second leg, but we usually have a second, or maybe this leg is a second leg of this, but I feel like this needs a second leg. So one, and then we have a two-legged pull, one pullback, two, and then we have the second leg. Now the second leg may not take this high out, usually it would, and we have a wedge top, and then maybe come back down, or maybe even go higher. So this is what we should be watching, and until we have figured this out, we can't take a trade. Of course, intraday things may become a lot clearer, but this is the high we're after, this is the low. So we're in this trading range right now, and we can't sort of decide to enter any trades until we have figured out what the market is doing, where it has decided, okay, we are, where are we headed. Things aren't very clear at the moment, but we can bet that we're going higher because we have a higher low. We have made three pushes down based on this chart: 1, 2, and 3. So we've done one push, pull back, so we should get a second push up. Hang on, let's see, but this wick top, so this could be one, pull back, two, no. Yeah, it could be. This could be the second leg. Only just because of this wick. How do we figure that out? Let's go on to a lower time frame. So on this time frame, what do we have? This is the low. We pushed up, we pulled back. So this is the first leg up, pull back. But this has not taken this out. So for me, this is still within this. So we still have some more up. Yeah, because we still need to take this high out for us to say this is the next leg up. This is still part of the pullback for me. So maybe one pullback, two. So this may go down a bit because we have a bear surprise here. This is the retracement. This is the what they call it. So you have the impulse move and then the retracement, the impulse. Say there we go. And that's how I'm trading it now. So saying this is the retracement as it looks, and this is the impulse move. So maybe this may go down a bit, but we just have to keep watching it till things play out, and that is how we pick our best trades. In the past, all I do is I just get into the trade, just seeing whatever I'm seeing and not really considering that. And that's what I should have done yesterday when I was looking at this area, really waiting for this low to form, and playing the fact that, okay, fine, if I'm going long here, really my stop is here because I'm not sure if we are. I mean, we're definitely on a third leg high. At the time, I wasn't sure if this was a third leg. I assumed this, because this had gone past here, I should start everything again, and this was the first low, second low, and we're expecting a third. but I've completely forgot the fact that sometimes this can go past this. As long as it doesn't go past this, then it's still within this move, and it is really almost like an expanding triangle as far as that's concerned. um, yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. You can see there is some resistance down on this level, but I expect that we'll make maybe one more leg down and then maybe reverse. All right, anyway, so that's my recap. Again, another pretty long one, but hopefully it's useful, interesting, and I don't know if I'm going to trade today because it's take care of Dorsa Day. Oh, I'm just watching this, and then yeah, we'll see. I do want to trade today, I really do, because I want to rectify some of these issues. Okay, we'll just I was gonna wait for this thing to cross before I end the recording, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll just end the recording. All right.